Today I'll talk about body fluid spill management. Management of spill in a laboratory depend on the type of spill. This is the classification of spill. First one is general spillage of infectious material, including blood and body fluids, then general chemical spillage, microorganism spillage, which include general infectious microbe and spillage of genetically modified microorganisms. Special spills include mercury spills, radioactive spill, cryogenic gas spillage, solvent spillage, spillage onto or into equipment, and dealing with a suspicious substance. In this lecture, I'll talk about blood and body fluid spillage, which poses biological hazard. To deal with biological spill, we need chlorine releasing agents. Chlorine concentration of chlorine releasing agents may decrease with time of storage, elevated temperature, and exposure to light. It has also been established that pH has a great influence on antimicrobial activity of chlorine, and maximum activity is seen at neutral pH. Chlorine releasing agents are rapidly inactivated by dust organic material. Hence, they should be made up daily or as required. It is important to note that chlorine solutions are corrosive to some of the metals, especially aluminum, and they cause irritation of skin, eyes, and lungs. This is about concentration of chlorine releasing agents for jars and containers in which used pipettes, slides, or other glassware are discarded. 0.1% available chlorine is used. For swabbing bench surfaces, 0.1% available chlorine is used, and for decontamination of blood spill and other specimen with high protein content, 1% available chlorine reagent is used. This is the formula to make 1% available chlorine and 0.1% available chlorine. This is based on assumption that sodium hypochlorite solution available is of 10%. We need a cleaning kit. This is a standard cleaning kit. It should include a mop and a cleaning bucket plus cleaning agent. A disposable spill kit can be used, which include 5 liters impervious container, 2 large zip seal plastic bag for waste material, a disposable sturdy cardboard scraper and pan, 5 granular disinfectant sachets containing 10,000 part per million available chlorine or equivalent, disposable rubber gloves suitable for cleaning, eye protection, a plastic apron, a mask. With all spill management protocols, it is essential that the area is left clean and dry. So, in the blood and body fluid spill kit, we need a chemical decontaminant, uh, a substance with available chlorine, or we can also use iodophores or 70% alcohol, material to absorb liquid after decontamination, personal protective equipments as discussed, and means for handling broken glasses, which include forceps, disposable scoops and sponges, and biohazard bags and sharp container to dispose the material after decontamination. Spill can be divided into small blood spill and large blood spill. For cleaning up small blood spill, gloves and eye protection should be worn. Contamination should be wiped up with paper towel soaked in freshly prepared hypochlorite solution with 1% available chlorine. However, if broken glass is present, first treat the spillage with hypochlorite, then carefully remove the pieces of glass with disposable forceps or scoop to a sharp bin. Then the used towels and gloves should be disposed of in a yellow clinical waste bag for incineration. For large spill in a wet area, example a bathroom or a toilet area, spill should be carefully hosed off into a sewage system and the area flushed with water and detergent. This is assuming that your hospital facility have a ETP plant. After the area is cleaned and if there is possibility of bare skin contact with the surface, the area should be disinfected, as I told you previously, with sodium hypochlorite solution with 1000 part per million available chlorine or other suitable disinfectant. For large blood spill in dry area, uh, we can cover the spill with paper towels, absorbent mats, or incontinence pad and gently flood it with hypochlorite solution containing 10,000 part per million or 1% available chlorine. Rest is same as for other spills. Spilled blood should not be allowed to dry as potential aerosol production is greater from dried blood. A normal mop and bucket should not be used for blood spillage. It is important to note that urine may promote the release of free chlorine from the treated area when hypochlorite or other chlorine containing compounds are applied. Hence, the ventilation of the area may be necessary. This is all for today. Thank you very much.